All right. So, Baba, how does Ghana not has not been helping, herself regarding some of these things?
Well, I think this has been coming over the years. Journalists in this country, particularly, have been fiercely talking about the decline of our stadia, the state of our stadia, the deplorable nature. Anybody following sports in this country might have chanced on a video or commentary of a journalist talking about how poor we have become. And so it is not surprising to many of us, but Ghana, in my opinion, has deliberately gotten here because we have refused to do the right things. And it is an embarrassing moment for us as a sports people, for a country that prides itself as a country that is a beacon of sports and football pace setter on the continent. We haven't helped ourselves because we have deliberately set ourselves up to be embarrassed this way, something that should be happening to countries that are, in war-torn countries that are facing serious political upheavals and chaos, not for a country like ours, where we pride ourselves as a football nation. To me, this is the first time I've ever witnessed this as a sports fan and as a sports journalist, and it's not something that's pleasant to hear.
In that not being pleasant, what do you think that the country should do going forward to prevent, any of these from happening?
Well, the sports stadia is a property of the government, is owned and controlled by governments. And when you are in possession and control of something, an event, an activity, or a property, you are the one who is expected to account for it. What I think we need to do is the lack of accountability needs to come to an end. We have allowed people in positions where basic things have been neglected. Basic things such as maintenance have been thrown to the dogs. And if we want to proceed on a right path and not get back to a situation like this, which will further compound the lack of integrity and loss of respect that we have on this continent, we need to make people account for the consequences of their actions. If I were the president of the country, what I would have done was to summon all the leadership of sports in this country, because this is the first time we have suffered this embarrassment. I would have summoned the leadership of sports in this country and asked them that I have invested heavily in sports infrastructure in this country. What is the irony that the government that has invested so much in sports is the government that is overseeing the nation being withdrawn from playing Category C matches at home? The fact that we don't have any standard sports infrastructure in the whole of Ghana's 238,000 kilometer square landmass, no proper first class or even Category C. What may have accounted for that? So I think that we need to let leadership account for their iniquities. So someone should summon leadership of sports, question them, and ask them where the money for the sports infrastructure has gone and what may have accounted for this. That is accountability. Secondly, we need to employ experts in positions of power, in positions such as this, and not merely people who are political. You may have your political friends and politicians occupy some positions of control and influence, but these are key areas where expertise is required, and something that I've observed that even as higher risk or as higher expertise is required, you have political people occupying these positions. And when things like that happen, of course, you are bound to get to a point of this state.